Your next speaker has written a book which is now in its 8th printing. It's entitled, See You at the Top. This is a book which is designed around the philosophy that we've got to do everything in our power to maintain the proper attitude. On the cover of the book it says, the how-to book that gives you a checkup from the neck up. Something which I think you'll agree is vitally important and very, very sorely needed, not only in schools, but in every walk of life in America today. Well, to introduce to you your next speaker, I will say to you simply that he is most stimulating. He has an incredible track record of success in his lifetime. He was a salesman. He says he still is a salesman, and he's quite proud to be. He was the number one salesman in a sales organization of over 3,000 salespeople. He was number two in a sales organization of over 7,000 salespeople. And not only was he involved in selling, he was a great salesman. He's won everything from dollars to Lincoln Continentals in sales contests. He's a man who believes in the concept that we can direct our own lives if we will effectively utilize what our raw materials truly are about us. He's a man who believes that it's your attitude, not your aptitude, which ultimately determines your altitude in life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming your next speaker from Dallas, Texas, Mr. Zig Zigler.
My goodness alive. Thank you very much, Don. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. I came in on the plane last evening, which is the way I generally fly. Now, I was seated next to an old boy, and I couldn't help but notice he had his wedding band on this finger, the index finger of the left hand. I commented on it. I said, friend, you've got your wedding band on the wrong finger. And he said, yeah, I married the wrong woman. Now, I said, well, you know, a man makes a mistake. He's not stuck with it, isn't he? He said, looks like I am. He said, this 7th time I've been married to that woman. I said, 7 times, same woman? He said, yeah. I said, well, how do you explain that? And he said, well, it's easy. He said, after every divorce, I get a little behind with my alimony, and she just repossesses me. I'm glad to see so many girls here. You know, not only are girls capable of dressing an audience up so much, but, well, women are just so much more practical than men. Like this lady down home, Miss Bum came up to her on the street and said, ma'am, said, would you give me $1 for a sandwich? And she said, well, not until I've seen the sandwich. Now, you see, that's practical. like the two girls talking one of them said, well, I didn't want to marry him for his money, but that is the only way I could get it. You see, now that's practical. And what I want to do is I want to be practical today. I believe if we're going to be practical, we got to set some definite objectives. Yale University, 1953. The graduating class they did a survey on. They discovered that only 3% of the graduating seniors had definite, predetermined objectives. 20 years later, they did another survey of those seniors who had graduated. Of the 3% who had set those goals, had committed them to paper, who had said, this I will do, who had made a commitment, the 3% had accomplished more than the 97% who had not written it down. Despite this fact, ladies and gentlemen, 97% of the American people have never committed their objectives to paper. They've never taken the time and written them down and said, this I will do. We believe there are some very basic reasons why they have not. Number one, they've never been sold, or they've been told, but not sold. I'm going to sell you on why you gotta. And the second reason is nobody has ever showed them exactly how they can set those goals. We've got a plan for you. And the third reason is that many people have this fear. You see, if you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, then you've been wrong at the top of your voice. Even if you don't share it with anybody, if you write it down and then you don't achieve it, then you in your mind have failed. And so a lot of people never go that other step. They never really commit it to paper, because then if they don't reach it, they can always say, well, I didn't really want to. That was the reason I didn't. Then there's that fourth reason, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that most people don't think they deserve a beautiful wife or a good husband. Most people don't think they deserve good kids, or deserve to live in a big house, or deserve to accomplish a lot of things. And because they don't think they deserve them, Evelyn, that's the reason they don't set those goals. But Evelyn, I believe man was designed for accomplishment. I believe he's engineered for success. I believe he's endowed with the seeds of greatness. I believe God wants you to make it. I really do. I want to talk about one of the goals. I'm going to talk about money. As a matter of fact, I surprise a lot of people. I'm going to talk a lot about money. Some of my Christian friends every once in a while said, Zig, how do you reconcile all that talk about money with Christianity? And I just kind of grin and say, well, that's easy. I think God made the diamonds for his folks, not Satan's bunch. Yeah. 23rd Psalm says, I'm going to live in his house forever. Now, he's got the building materials of the universe to put it together. Don't you know that's going to be some kind of place? I don't believe he wants me in a chicken shack between here and there. Can't believe it. I want to talk about money. See, a lot of people don't understand it. They talk about cold, hard cash, and it's neither cold nor hard. It's soft and warm. It feels good. Beautifully colored. Go with whatever you got. I don't care what you wear, and it'll blend in with it. Not once has that redhead of mine ever said, honey, wait a minute, I got to go change clothes because what I'm wearing won't go with what you're carrying. I mean, it goes good. I don't know your experience with money, but I've had it and I hadn't had it, and it's better to have it. I mean, it really is. And I'm probably going to surprise you when I say this. Did you know you can't get too much money? That's right. Now, if the money gets you, that's too much. See, if money ever becomes your God, you'll be a miserable human being for life. No way you can make it if you have money as your sole God. And the reason for that, you see, Solomon said, he who seeks silver will never be satisfied with silver. And we know that's true because in the last 2 years there have been 5 billionaires to die. Somebody in Dallas said, I wonder how much money Howard Hughes really left. And somebody else said he left it all. So you see, if somebody asks you how much money you're going to leave, you can simply say it's same as Howard Hughes. And you'll be right, you see. But having said all that, let me start all over. You can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. Now, I don't care what your job is. See, if you're a salesman, you're selling a product that solves a problem, you sell enough products that solves enough problems, you're going to get what you want. Is this not true? And if you are a manager and you can train and enthuse and inspire and motivate your organization to be more productive, then they will get their rewards and you will be rewarded because you have helped your people get what they want. PMA rallies is in the same category. See, we want you to tell your friends and relatives, be with us in Birmingham and Salt Lake City and Chicago and wherever we're going. We want you to tell them to be there. And we know we've got a responsibility before you're going to say to your company people, go to the rally. We've got to do something for you. We've got to leave you with something. Is this not true? See, as a speaker, I can get everything in life I want if I'll just help you get what you want. You might say, well, Zig, what do you want? Well, I want to be invited back to Dayton. And I'll tell you now, it'll be a shame if I'm not. Because you see, my next talk is so much better than this one. But you see, I got sense enough to know that if I don't do good this time, there ain't going to be no next time. And that's what I'm saying to you, you see. If you do now what you're supposed to do, if you deliver, then you're going to be invited back, whether you're a school teacher, a doctor, or a dentist, whether you travel for NCR all over the country as Ira Hayes does, regardless of what you do, if you do good today, you're going to be invited back tomorrow. I want to talk about goals, ladies and gentlemen, because we must have them. A number of years ago, Jean-Henri Fabre, the great French naturalist, conducted a series of experiments with some processionary caterpillars, so named because they follow each other in a procession. He lined them around a flower pot until they formed a continuous, never-ending circle. And they started going round and round 24 hours a day, 7 days they did this, night and day, until they literally dropped dead of starvation and exhaustion. Now, in the center of the flower pot, Fabre had placed some pine needles, which is the food of the processionary caterpillars. With an abundance of food less than 3 inches away, they starved to death because they confused activity with accomplishment.